Nice question here. We've got implicit differentiation, except there's a k involved, and we're told the difference in the y coordinates is 3. So let's just go with the normal process though. We're told that at points P and Q, the tangents to the curve are parallel to the y-axis. That means we're going to need to investigate dy by dx. And let me just draw these lines. So that's what the tangents would look like. And when you have a tangent being horizontal, dy by dx will be 0. When it's vertical, dy by dx will not be defined, and I'm going to be using that in a minute. But first of all, let's differentiate this implicitly. So I'm going to get 5 from the 5x, and then I'm going to use the product rule on minus 2xy. Now you can either, you can take this steady and call one of them u and v, or you can just differentiate them um, as you go. Like that can be u and that can be v. So I differentiate u, I'm going to get minus 2, keep v the same, and then I'm going to keep u the same and differentiate v. So that's how you can do it quickly. That is u dash v plus uv dash. It's just there's a negative in there. With the 2y squared, we can use the chain rule. So I'm essentially going to differentiate the outside. I've got something squared, so I just lower the power. So I bring the power down and lower the power by 1, so that gets me to 4y. And then I times by the derivative of the inside, which in this case is dy by dx. When you're differentiating implicitly and you've got y's, you basically just differentiate as normal, and then you times by dy by dx at the end. The k disappears, and we've got ourselves 0. So what should I do now? I'll keep the dy by dx's on the left. So it will be dy by dx 4y minus 2x equals 2y minus 5. So dy by dx equals 2y minus 5 over 4y minus 2x. And dy by dx not defined at P and Q. And this means the only thing, like if it was equal to 0, the top would be 0. But if it's not defined, the only time this dy by dx is not defined is if the bottom is 0. So 4y is going to equal 2x, or x is going to equal 2y. There we go. That is the condition that we have. But we're not done. Now we need to sub that back in. And it's important, we're going to sub this one back in because we're told about, first of all, it is simpler, but more importantly, we're told the difference in the y coordinates is 3. So I need to solve for y. I'm not going to sub in for y equals a half x and get it in terms of x because I can't then use that information. So sub in. That means that 5 times 2y minus 2 times 2y times y plus 2y squared minus k is equal to 0. This becomes 10y minus 4y squared plus 2y squared minus k equals 0. So 2y squared minus 10y plus k is equal to 0. I've just made it so that I've kind of got it all onto the right-hand side essentially and swapped it around. Hopefully you're happy with that. Okay, so yeah, this is a slightly different bit to normally when you see these kind of questions. We don't know what k is, but that's okay. We can still solve it. And when I did it, I thought about completing the square, but it's a bit awkward. You factorize the 2 out, and then you're going to get a 5, which you then have to divide by 2. So I'm just going to use the quadratic formula. Y is going to be 10 plus or minus 100. That's my b squared. Minus 4ac. That's going to be 8k square rooted all over 4. That's my 2a. Now, for the next bit, if I had, say, I'm just going to make it simpler. If I had 1 plus or minus 3, then I could work out that the answer is minus 2 and 4, so the difference is 6. Or I could see, you know what, I'm adding 3 to 1 and I'm minusing 3 to 1, so the difference is going to be 6 because I just need to double that 3. And the same goes here. The difference in y values is going to equal, I can forget about the 10 over 4, it's going to be 2 times root 100 minus 8k over 4. I'm doing the equivalent to what I talked about over here. If I'm adding 3 on and minusing 3, the difference is 6. If I'm adding root 100 minus 8k over 4 and minusing it, the difference is going to be 2 lots of that. And that, remember, is then going to equal 3. Now, if you're not happy with that quick way, what you can do is you can do 10 plus root 100 minus 8k over 4, and you can do 10 minus root 100 minus 8k over 4, and you can subtract them because that will give you the difference. Now, when you subtract them, you might be able to see straight away the 10s are going to cancel, but if not, let's put it all over a common denominator. So I'm going to get minus 10, but then a plus root 100 minus 8k all over 4. And now I can see these cancel. These have just got 2 lots of it, and we get to the same place. So back to here. That means I'm dividing by 2. So actually root 100 minus 8k is going to be 6, which means 100 minus 8k is going to be 36. 8k is then 100 minus 36 is 64. So k is equal to 8. And it says in the question that k is a positive integer. So, I mean, I don't know for sure if I've done that right, but if you've got a negative, you'd know that you've made a mistake. And now we can actually use that to work out the values of y. We can put it back into here. So k is equal to 8. We're going to get y equal to 10 plus or minus 100 minus 64. That's 36. Square rooted is 6 plus or minus 6 over 4. And in fact, you could have used that from here. You could have used the fact that the root 100 minus 8k over 4 is 3 over 2. We've got the 6 over 4, but I think it's just as easy and a bit more clear to see. Let's just sub it in. So I'm going to get 16 over 4, which is 4, or 6, or is it 10 minus 6 is 4. 4 over 4 is 1. And we're nearly there. So yp is going to be the smaller, is going to be 1, and yq is going to be 4. And now I can use that condition. I don't need to sub it all back into the original with k or anything. I know, where's it gone? But I know that x is 2y. So xq is going to be 8, and xp, xp is going to be 2. And so finally, we'll ask for the x coordinates. Actually, that's all we need. Okay, nice question. So just to summarize, it's implicit differentiation. You've got to realize that because it's talking about the tangents. So let's find dy by dx, which we do, make it the subject. Got to then realize that it's where actually dy by dx is not defined, or dx by dy is 0. That's another way to think about it. And then that gives us that x is 2y. Sub it back in. We get an equation involving k. We investigate that. I mean, you could investigate the discriminant, but better to just go for the solution involving the discriminant. Find the difference in the solutions in terms of k, set that equal to 3, solve to find k, sub back in to get y, sub back in to get x.